This is training live on X. Okay, so here we go. Nigeria demands UN Security Council seat and Palestinian statehood at UNGA. Vice President Kashim Shettima addressed the 80th UN General Assembly in New York on September 24th, 2025, representing Nigeria, Bola Tinubu, and renewing Nigeria's commitments to multilateralism through its participation in the 51st UN peacekeeping missions. He called for a permanent Security Council seat for Nigeria, sovereign debt relief, equitable access to African mineral resources, and closing the digital divide, while condemning violence in Gaza and supporting a two-state solution for lasting peace in the Israel-Palestine conflict. Kenyan President William Ruto echoed demands for African representation on the Security Council, highlighting the continent's contributions to global peacekeeping despite its exclusion. Nigeria has been terribly weak when it comes to asking for these things and becoming bold in the face of daunting ask. But it does look like this particular one is quite different because Shettima was out asking for a two-state solution for the Israel-Palestinian problem and also asking for security inclusion for Nigeria, given what it has done with peacekeeping around the world. Guess what? State of Palestine apparently retweeted or tweeted what Nigeria's vice president says, and says the people of Palestine are not collateral damage and civilization searching for order. They are human beings, equal in worth, entitled to the same freedoms and dignities that the rest of us have for granted. In fact, this is a powerful speech. Let's watch and see.
The people of Palestine are not collateral damage in a civilization searching for order. They are human beings, equal in worth, entitled to the same freedoms and dignities that the rest of us take for granted.
Powerful speech. Powerful speech, if you ask me. Great one. I think it was David Hudain that responded. He says it doesn't really mean it, but it's good to see Nigeria's middle management at least pretend to want to be on the right side of history. First, and probably last time I have ever agreed with anything coming out of Kashim Shettima's mouth. I'm sure you remember David Hudain. Imran Mohammed says Nigeria must have a permanent seat at the UN Security Council as part of a wider process of institutional reforms. Vice President Kashim Shettima made a case today for permanent seat for Nigeria on the UN Security Council at the 80th UNGA. This is actually a tweet from Imran Mohammed, and I think it's worth it.
Points today to outline how we can do this. 1. Nigeria must have a permanent seat at the UN Security Council.
Absolutely.
This should take place. This should take place as part of a wider process of institutional reform. 2. We need urgent action to promote sovereign debt relief and access to trade and financing. 3. Countries that host minerals must benefit from those minerals. And 4th, the digital divide must close. As our friend the Secretary General has said, AI must stand for Africa included. On my first point, the United Nations will recover its...
In fact, the part where it says AI must be called Africa included, it's just crazy. Like, I love the acronym already. Africa included. Who thought about that? Do you think they were thinking about AI, Africa included, when they were developing AI? Well, I think it's just an acronym indeed to basically improve and increase the awareness about Africa being the next, developed continent. And there's really no reason why Africa remains underdeveloped, given the amount of resources, the people that we have, and what we have. We really no reason why we should remain underdeveloped. Saad Wanja says, why do African leaders always speak to empty halls at UNGA? I thought about that for a minute. I actually didn't want to say it because I know somebody was going to mention it. But because, again, it almost looks as if the hall got emptied. Is it that they bring Africans to speak at night? Because I don't understand. After traveling miles and wasting taxpayers' money, they end up speaking to their own entourage, which they could have done in their own countries. We are not taken seriously, but our low self-esteem keeps us coming year after year. I saw both Kenya and Nigerian speeches, beautiful but to an empty seat. Wow. That's true. I mean, there's practically no way to say it. That's absolutely true. Why on earth would the hall be empty when Africans are speaking? Why? These guys don't take us seriously, and that's the truth. I agree 100%. And that's why sometimes Africans would always say, can we just forget about these guys and develop our own thing and do our own thing? They will come for us at some point. But when you keep undermining a continent, you can imagine Nigeria, largest population on the African continent, with a place with a potential of hundreds of opportunities for business. They're speaking and you really don't care about what they say because what? You don't think they're important. That's what it is, really. Osahan Osawe says the problem is that the UN doesn't take African leaders seriously. For example, when African leaders address the UN, most world leaders are absent. This shows that the UN itself is more biased and even more corrupt than Africa. Yeah, of course, I agree. Government of propaganda had their own crowd in an almost empty hall to cheer them up. Damn it. Can't believe this. See us hall empty. Coco Red says, charity begins at home. Where is the security at home? Nothing but your brother and foot soldier destroying Nigeria. And he or she posts a picture of the dreaded bandits who give a press release stating that they are now having a peace deal with the government. God damn it. Anyways, good point. Everyone's got some point now. So Somtobe Chuku says the audience is the same angle, the same people, the same race, the same clappers. Okay. Not your average thinker. After supporting and championing Boko Haram in Nigeria, not sure that you got your acts correct. I don't know. Nigeria went with your own audience. Everything about Nigeria is shameful. Damn it. Uzinato says, must. Nothing concern them with merits. Now waiting them go fit hijack and take advantage of the Sabi. Nigerians must have something to say regarding all of these things, man. Morrison says, well, he's speaking to his delegates from Nigeria. Empty hall, giant of what again? Oh, shit. Human first, and sure to include those you guys are integrating into the army. Bragging with 239 million population of the poorest. Wow. To Miss Bamishile says, nice speech from VP Shatima. Nigeria has contributed and made a lot of sacrifices to all UN peacekeeping operations since its inception, from Congo to Lebanon, Iraq, Kuwait, Kosovo, and Bosnia. We deserve a permanent UNC seat. The world must listen to Nigeria and Africa. Well, if the world must listen to us, I think it should begin from the hall. The hall was quite empty, really. I mean, and I hate it. I hate to say it. Anyways, appreciate you for watching. I really appreciate you for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Tell me what you think in the comments. I'd love to hear from you as always. Cheers.